63.7% that within the next 62 million seconds, starfleets will be modeled around Earth. The war is not at an end as we thought. It is only spreading wider. Space, time. But there is another chance. Although time continued to move, it was an unreliable criterion. It could not portray on the theory of weather. For me, there is no past, there is no future. It has never existed. Do you remember? Those of the dawn of the skies, 5,000 Tesla, and the polar seas. Remember all the things that are lost. Remember the 1,000 comrades, how it remained to us.
The snow had been falling since autumn, and a cold spring came late. In the fourth year of the micronuclear war, many of things that once existed are now gone. Frigate St. Admiral Lisitsky departs from the floating warehouses. Even the sounds were more distant these mornings. The planet had changed. Anyone could sense that. Even the movement of time itself seemed altered. Around the world, resistance falters. The free peoples surrender, one after the other. In this darkest hour, Agent Laika Oskovich manages to reach the Separatists' head office. In her hands, she is holding something that could change the war. The secret blueprints of Executor, the enemy's new battle station. CLN sends clear messages to the autonomous provinces. War will tear the world apart. And it's been said that alien beings started these days landing on Earth, extraterrestrials, time travelers, and other, even more inscrutable creatures. Only unification under the planetary empire can guarantee peace. Not everyone accepted the edict, though. Dozens of attacks by confederations and terrorist factions using interplanetary nuclear weapons took place. but they were all doomed to fail. The secret of Executor's armor wasn't on the sky, but in the sea. On the northern fjords of Greenland, in the seaside base of Thule, an advanced anti-missile shield had been installed. The Central Committee of the Separatists decides that there is no other choice. They must strike the base fast in order to crack the spaceship's defenses. Captain Harbour is assigned to lead this mission. Nell Harbour was a young Norwegian captain from the distant Lofoten Islands, which are today lost to the world. But he's not alone. The Central Committee has assigned to the mission one of the time travelers, who had by then started wandering the shadows of the earth. And so Laika Oskovich bids Nell Harbour farewell, with the premonition that this one would be their last. For the sea would keep him for long, and Laika would never again see him as he is now. In the beginning of October, the Executor's commander demonstrates its power for the first time in Siberia by wiping out the city that was once called Ekaterinburg. So destructive was the strike that only mountains of ash were left to remind humans that there was once life in these territories. Of old, there was the Arctic archipelago, which the people of the north would name the Sea of Ice, and it was said that nothing could exist there except ice and death.
And Tango, where are you guys at? We're just entering base turn to final.
In the end of October, the northern factions declared war on the CLN's Polar Meta Squadron.
And Tango, are you guys in? Yeah.
With the outbreak of naval warfare in the Polar, the Central Committee orders immediate sailing. Given a little luck, the frigate Admiral Lisiski may pass unnoticed. Admiral Lisiski is heading south, disappearing into the vastness of the sea. Three days later, the ship changes course and leaves to the north. Captain Harbour considers that his ship has been undetected. Admiral Lisiski manages to evade war for a while. Harbour leads the ship to the west of the huge whirlpool Haley, and now an abandoned part of Greenland's coastline. Harbour often asks for his lieutenant's advice. For some reason, he feels close to the time traveler. It seems that in his diary, Harbour writes, "There are times that he looks at me, and his gaze is gloomy, if you can really discern emotions in his countenance. His knowledge is endless. His service on this ship is precious, even though it's hard for him to remain in the present. I often feel that he's ready to drift to another dimension of time. And he often stays all alone, staring at a photo that no one has ever seen. When the ship has already left Nord and is crossing the irradiated sea of Lomonsov, Executor has already reached the North Pole, supporting CLN on the battlefront. Central Committee sends its last report regarding the bombing of Thule base. But Laika Oskovich realizes that the ship is heading to its demise. There is no way for Admiral Asitsky to break through Thule's defenses, with the flagship Executor flying over the polar skies. The Central Committee has sealed the crew's fate. But her lover's loss is not the only reason that the world was fading in her eyes, because her time is also coming to an end. Everything worth remembering that happened in the past has ceased to matter anymore. Late December, Admiral Asitsky arrives to the end of the Earth, and the crew sees a great light in the sky. Many sailors are terrified, fearing it to be the Executor. But the ones who could read the skies understand that this was the Alpha Centauri, appearing in the cold sky, larger and more vivid this time of the year. Traveling through the oceans of life, you fight for survival, which can be denied to you by monsters, storms, and shipwrecks. The ship moves quickly, obscured from the base's detection systems, and primes its 12 rows of thermal cannons, attacking the base's defensive systems. But its attack is countered. The captain orders a second salvo. The base's defenses start cracking at the cost of Admiral Asitsky's being revealed. Executor abandons its war operations and rapidly flies back to Thule, approaching the Earth more than ever before. The Central Committee's real plan is complete. Executor is above the ship, caught within the magnetic fields of the Earth. The time traveler now follows his original orders. He launches the rocket which he has installed in the ship, a kind of chronobionic rocket that is considered advanced even nowadays. A mechanical howl burns through space and time alike. The rocket leaves the frigate and approaches Executor. It strikes the spaceship's central platform.
Although time continued to move, it was an unreliable criterion. It could not portray the theory of weather. For me, there is no past, there is no future. It has never existed.
Why are you helping us? You don't even belong to this timeline.
When the time was moving, I also believed in the ideology. But now, time is spherical, and everything has changed.
Use of the weapon came at a heavy cost. It submerged the frigate into the belly of the moving time. This is how the planet Earth opened to the time passages. The time traveler had vanished. He had ceased to exist in this dimension of time. Nevertheless, there's always something that lingers. Shortly before losing his senses, Captain Harbour found the photo that the time traveler was looking at during the journey. On the back of the picture, there were curved letters, and Nell Harbour realized that this was his own handwriting. Memory is just the past that never managed to take the form of the present. Her hands, the captain has dreamed of many times, and he understood it all, accepting all the world's sorrows within him. For in this moment, all the world's ages are upon him.
Incoming transmission. All battleships, prepare your weapons. The fleets of time are approaching.